This island isn't just where we live. It's where my story began, where my family's roots run deeper than the oldest trees. This is where I ran barefoot through my childhood, but we moved away. Years later, we found our way back, drawn home by the sea and my husband's work as a lobster fisherman. People imagine island life as a quiet escape, but the reality is it's so much more intricate. Working around ferry schedules, letting the tide set the rhythm of our days, and learning to grow food where the air is salty and the soil is rich with fir needles. Where we live, there's this big mountain, and it shades our house from the sun. So in the morning, if I want to enjoy the sunlight, we walk up on the mountain and enjoy the view. I know that you can see the ocean from somewhere up here. I just can't remember exactly where it is. There's also things like this all over the island. Because it's so old, there's been people living here for hundreds and hundreds of years. And there used to not be a dump. They camped somewhere. There used to not be a dump. So they would have dumping grounds behind their homesteads. And they would just dump all their glass in the woods, basically. So there's things like this sticking up out of the moss all the time. Obviously it got broken by the tree growing, but this might not be that old, but we found some really, really old pieces of glass just in the backyard, underground and on the mountain. It looks like nothing on my camera, but there's the ocean, and in real life it looks so beautiful. All right, we're back. We gotta feed the goats. Watch your face. Or watch the coins. Some mornings I crave the ocean. So I grab a towel and head a few minutes down the road. You know how I said the tide set the rhythm of our days? It's true. They decide how fast the ferry crossing will be, and if you want to swim, you don't want the tide too low, or you'll be fighting rockweed and slipping on sea-worn stones. But if you're after treasures, a low tide can feel like magic. Purple sea glass, this is my favorite. Ah, what a treasure. Wow, look, what do you see? Purple. Little by little, we're building our dream homestead on this tiny island. The property's just over an acre, rocky and small, but we're determined to pack as much life into it as we can. We've got chickens, a growing garden, and our goats, Rosie and Peaches. They're not exactly earning their keep just yet, since they need to be bred before we can start milking, but that's in the works. I dream of creating a little permaculture paradise here, something sustainable, nourishing, and beautiful for our family. But today's not all about our little homestead. This evening, we're heading to the mainland for baseball practice, so I've got a ferry ride ahead of me. Nap time, so that means I need to get some work done in the garden. I can't do any of this kind of thing when the baby's out because she hauls plants out, stomps on them, all the things that I don't want. So nap time means garden time. I have got to get some onions in the ground. I've been putting this off for way too long, so now is the time. Here are my sad looking onions. Could be worse. I planted these from seeds. Sometimes they use the bulbs, but apparently when you plant from seed, they end up to be way bigger. So I'm really hoping that that is the case this year, because my onions last year were teeny tiny. And I will add, it might look like they're really close together, but with onions, you can grow them really close together because their roots don't tangle up. They kind of just break apart very nicely. So it's really easy to separate them. Boom, just like that. gloves. I hate gardening gloves. I don't know why. It's like a sensory thing or something. But we'll just have dirty fingernails, and that's okay. And I'm really not picky about how I get them in the ground. I don't have time to be picky, so we gotta get them in there one way or another. I've already filled up this whole side of the bed, and I have so many onions left. I'm probably gonna have to put them down in the bigger garden. The onions are planted, the baby's still sleeping, so I'm gonna try to pull some weeds in my other garden. And this is Peaches.
When you have celiac disease and you live on a tiny island with just a few little country stores, cooking from scratch isn't really optional. Today, I'm making one of my go-to dips. It's an apple, chicken, and onion dip. I know it might sound a little strange, but trust me, it hits all the marks. It's got that perfect crunch, a touch of sweetness from the apple, and a savory kick from the chicken. I start by making my own mayo, but you can definitely use store-bought if that's easier. Homemade just takes it up a notch. Once the mayo is ready, I chop up some cooked chicken, some crisp apple, and some onions. You mix that all together with salt, pepper, the homemade mayo, and a little bit more mustard and some honey, and mix that up and you are good to go. It's quick, easy, and so versatile. I use it as a dip with crackers or chips or pile it onto a sandwich. It's one of those simple, from-scratch recipes that makes gluten-free life feel a little bit more delicious and a little bit easier. It's my favorite time of year right now. The lupins are in bloom, and by the end of June, the island is covered in waves of purple. Living here can be quiet, simple, and sometimes a little inconvenient, but it's also beautiful and grounding in a way I never expected. Life on this island isn't perfect, but it's slow and intentional and full of little joys. Like the goats calling from the barn, ferry rides at sunset, and catching glimpses of these wildflowers everywhere I turn.